Welcome to the Zillennial Mindset. I'm 25 years old and I started this channel to prove that with the right planning, our generation doesn't have to work forever. You could take control of your financial future and retire early. So in today's video, this is the first video. This is a video I'm going to show of my net worth as of today. So market closed already. This is the current numbers between every investments that I have, and yeah. So why am I showing this as my first video? So I'm thinking that, you know, I want to show, and I'm not showing this to brag or anything, but I'm showing this to show that, like, if you have a plan. So I've been saving and investing since I was 20 years old, and I've been budgeting basically since I was 18. Uh, and if you set a plan, a goal in mind, and you can achieve anything you believe in. So, if I'm being honest with myself, this was not on the bucket list at 25 years old to have the net worth that I have currently. But I do. I do now. And I figured with what I have been able to replicate, I figured it's time to show people that, you can get to this point in your life too if you work hard, save, and invest. Okay, so this is the net worth as of today, July 16th. So I'm a little bit above $124,000. I have a TSP. So TSP is a 401k for the government. So I am a government employee. Roth IRA is a after tax individual retirement account. HSA is a health savings account. I'll go into more details into the breakdown for that. My cash/emergency fund. This is about 4 months or so, give or take, of monthly expenses that I have set aside for an emergency. And most of it is in a HYSA, high yield savings account. I do have a condo that I purchased in 2023. I'll explain more about that. Same with the car. So yeah, total net worth. So the breakdown for the TSP. So C fund, I fund, S fund. C fund is the S&P 500. It's basically what it's tracking, and the S&P 500 is the top 500 U.S. stocks in the world for market cap. I fund is going to be everything outside of U.S. So I is for the international stock market. So Hong Kong, Taiwan, India, UK, you name it, any country that has a stock market outside the US. S fund is going to be the small caps. This will track the Russell 2000, and it's just the 2000 smallest companies. I think the minimum market cap is 2 billion though. So anything below that will be considered micro cap, and I don't think they have a fund for that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. So small cap companies is the S fund. Now for the breakdown of the Roth IRA. So what I like more about the Roth IRA over the TSP is that the Roth IRA, the individual retirement account, is more of a flexibility in what you can invest in. So like, for example, for the TSP, like there's only 5 funds that you can invest in, but the Roth IRA, you can invest in any ETF, any individual stock that you want to, you know. Now, of course, it could get complicated, but honestly, if I'm being honest, if I could fix my portfolio right now, it would just be QQQM, S&P, M, DIA, IWM, and that would be it. All these individual stocks, not needed at all. It just, all it does is it adds more stress because now you have to track more, you have to like track all these different stocks so that way you can keep up with it, because obviously if something changes in the fundamentals of Microsoft, well, Microsoft right now is 4.9% of my total portfolio. So if Microsoft goes to zero, then I'm down 5% overnight. But that's not going to happen to Microsoft, but that's just an extreme example of why investing in individual stocks can be stressful. But the QQQM is just going to be tracking the top 100 tech stocks, mostly tech, but is innovative stocks. Basically anything that's like futuristic, like if you're pro future, like you want to be investing in the QQQM because that's they're innovating. They're trying to make changes into the world. So most of your AI stocks are going to be in QQQM. Now SPYM is still the top 500 stocks. So you're going to realize that there's a lot of overlap between SPYM and QQQM, but SPYM just still gives you more broad like diversity where you'll still have investments in other stuff besides tech. That's why I have SPYM. DIA is the 30 blue chip stocks. So there's Amazon that's in there, United Healthcare, McDonald's. So I like DIA because it gives me a little bit more exposure to other things that I might not be excited about investing, like McDonald's. Like it's a big company, but I don't care to invest in it. But I get the exposure by having DIA. IWM is just going to be just like the small caps, like I talked earlier. Um, it's yeah, small caps, Russell. That's basically what it is. Now, except for the individual stocks, some of these stuff I believe in long term is why I do have investments in them. But it's just a little too much to keep up with all these different names. So yeah. And then currently I need to contribute another 4,000 to max out the Roth for the year. Now for the HSA. Okay, so the HSA is a health savings account where it's pre-tax money. It's also an investment tool. So you can use it for medical expenses at any age, and it's after tax money that you're using it to pay after tax medical expenses. Now, if you don't use the money for medical expenses, you have to wait until you're 65, and basically this HSA will become a traditional IRA, and a traditional IRA is basically a pre-tax IRA. So, yeah, not to confuse anybody, but basically just for the HSAs specifically what we're talking about is that what the way people use it is that they will pay for their medical expenses today. So they'll use today's dollars and they'll pay for it with their debit card or their credit card, and then they'll keep the receipt, and then they'll use this HSA, they'll let it grow and invest, they'll let the money grow, and then they'll take the money in the future and pay for the medical expenses. Like they'll pay themselves back because they paid for it. So they'll just basically send the money back to their checking account. And then as long as you have the receipt, the IRS shouldn't give you any issues. And if they do give you issues, you just show them a receipt and you just tell them I'm paying myself back for this day that I went to the doctor, or this day I pay for this medicine or whatever. And the beauty behind this account, and this why I think is the best account, and not a lot of people know about this health savings account, is that, like I said, all this money is pre-tax that you're putting in. So you're not paying taxes on it. So you basically lower your taxable income today, and then you could use it to pay for medical expenses in the future where the dollar is going to be worth a lot less, and you pay yourself back in that future money. But because the dollar is worth less, but your investments are growing faster than the dollar, you're basically, it's like a triple leverage account where not a lot of people know about the HSA. And the one caveat to the HSA is that you have to have a high deductible health plan. And those plans, because they're high deductible, um, it can be very expensive if you don't have a lot of money set aside for it. So, but yeah, but it's a beautiful tool if you're a relatively healthy individual and you only go to the doctor maybe once a year. So it's a great tool that I think everybody should take advantage of if they're relatively healthy. All right, now for the condo, car, and cash. Okay, so my condo, I purchased it in December of 2023, and I have homeowner's regret on the condo. So I purchased my condo at the time I moved from my hometown and I moved to this new city. And I told myself, I was like, you know what? I have all this cash. I might as well start building equity into a home instead of just renting and paying somebody else's mortgage. Because I would see those videos, those short form content videos, and it had me thinking like, yeah, you know what? Like I probably should. Why not? So I'm just thinking about like the amount of money I'm paying now for my mortgage and my HOA. I could have rented for probably like $400 less a month and just invested the difference. And yeah, I mean, it wouldn't, nothing would change drastically in my life. So it's not like the mortgage is eating into like my investments or anything like that. Like it's not changing much. It's just maybe I'm being greedy where I could be like, oh, I could be investing more instead of what I'm currently investing or whatever. So yeah. Then for the car, I also have like regret in buying the car because at the time of the car that I had, I bought cash. It was my first car that I bought, and I didn't need a new car. I just wanted a new car. So it was just like one of those things where like I just kind of, because I got promoted at my job, and I was like, you know what? Let me, just get myself a new car. So that's what I did, and yeah, one of those things where like I could probably have gotten away with not having a car, waited a little bit, build up some more cash so that way I didn't have to take out a loan on the car. I mean, then again, same thing with the car. It's not impacting my life because it's not taking up that much of my gross income, the monthly payment. So it's one of those things where it's just like I'm looking back, like maybe I could have did something a little differently, and maybe the net worth would have been higher. But again, I still feel like relatively I'm in a good position in my life now where the net worth is still at a good place, more than I was expecting. That maybe I'm just being greedy in this sense, like looking back at what I could have did differently. But that's life, Sometimes you're just gonna look at things and look like, dang, if I would have did this differently, then maybe I'll be this, or I would have done this, or yeah. So, but then you could just stress yourself out, so it's not worth it. But that's just, I guess, my word of caution about buying a home. Like, make sure you're buying a home for the right reasons and not just because, oh, you don't want to be paying another person's mortgage, because that was like my reasoning. But yeah, I mean, is what it is now. I'm happy with my condo. I don't hate it. And then for the cash, um, set aside, like I said earlier, 4 months of monthly expenses. That way, in event of an emergency, I have the money, I have the cash. Um, And yeah, so yeah, that's basically the total net worth portfolio video for today. My goal overall now with the channel is to basically just spread my knowledge of what I learned. And I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but I'm thinking because I was able to build this with just discipline, I kind of just want to, you know, show what I did. And maybe I'll can make videos of how to set up recurring investments, and how to budget. So, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Millennial money.